Hey everyone, this is a special vlog that we are going to talk to Luis and Kim Vargas down in Bashina, Mexico to get to know them more. They are missionaries that we support, Redemption Church, and just friends really of the ministry that we love down in Mexico. They're connected to Jason and Jackie Sanchez. This is actually Jason's aunt and uncle, and they've been doing ministry for a long time together, whether it be at the church or with the orphanage. And I just wanted to take some time, now that we have time because of the coronavirus, to just spend and hang out and just talk and encourage one another. But just to have a conversation with you guys and to hear about your story and to talk about your city and just how God has moved and worked through Calvary Chapel, Bashina. What's the actual technical name of your church? Because is it in Spanish? What is it called?
Capilla Calvario de Bashiniva.
Ah, muy bien. Sí, sí. It's so funny because names of churches like that are so almost not important. It's the people, right? I think that's one of the probably lessons that we're learning right now. It's not the building or the program; it's the people of God.
Right.
Yeah.
So I want to start with you, Luis. What brought you to Bashinava to pastor a church down there? Because many of you guys know Bashinava is a smaller town. What brought you to Bashinava?
Well, it's kind of funny story. Well, I'm from around this area, but I moved to the United States where I met my beautiful wife. So I wasn't a believer yet. Took me a long time. But her brother, Ron, Jason's father, he was a youth pastor. So he was talking about bringing a group down to where I was born, which is like a man near Bachiniva. So we came to Bachiniva, and I guess again I wasn't a believer yet. So we came and we started first group, a missionary group, or mission trip to Bachiniva, and the Lord just saved my wife, and right after that He saved me, and I realized that I needed to be saved, and started getting groups. I mean, once a year, and one of those mission groups or trips, the Lord just spoke to my heart, and He just showed me that all the young guys from Washington. He told me, like, look, they want to serve me. Why don't you and your family come and serve here in Machiniva? And I just kind of say yes. I felt that in my heart. I mean, I can say I almost heard His voice, but maybe I didn't. But I felt it out of my heart. And then I talked to the family, and everybody was okay with it, and we planned to move. But it took us like 2 years. 2004, we moved to Shiniva, and the plan was just to help the kids and the teenagers not to have a church, not to pastor a church. I wasn't prepared, and I'm still not prepared yet. But we started to get together. That my sister had a little grocery store. We called it Comercio, Aguabarrotes. So we started to teach the kids and the young kids from the barrio. There we had the church, Barrio Juarez of Chiniva. And then, I mean, they were adults right away waiting for us to teach the word, to fit in with the word of the Lord. And I wasn't ready, so I'm not, what am I going to teach? But when the Lord had people there and I started teaching, soon after that, Ron came with the group, and he said, "What? Here you are teaching, and there's a people here, so there's a church." And I said, "Oops, that's too premature yet." So that's how the Lord just started the church. We weren't planning to pastor any church, just planning to love the kids, because we felt that they needed to be loved. People weren't paying attention to them, or we just felt that way. But that's how we started the church. That was 2004, so it's going to be almost 16 years, and God has worked, and we've seen a lot of those little kids that were there when we came in 2004. Some of them are, now they're grown up, they're married, they have children, but they're serving the Lord. So we've seen some fruit.
I love that, because it seems like the whole church started because two things, like really serving mission trips, right? Another
Yes.
churches and people going down to Mexico and wanting to serve, but then also just like love and loving children and just not having an agenda, but just to be like, oh, we're going to love and we're going to serve. And out of that, there was this fruit of a church, you know?
Right.
That's just really cool. Kim, so you guys got saved, you guys got called down there. How did you feel as being both in America to say, hey, we're going to move to Mexico now? What was that like for you? Did you guys have any kids at that time, or what was it like?
Yeah, we had all 5 kids.
Okay.
And well, Luis is Mexican.
Uh-huh.
So he
You talk.
we met in 87, and then I think my first trip to Mexico, to his hometown, well, not his sister lives in Bashiniva. So that's why we would always go to Bashiniva. And we actually lived there in 1991. We lived there for a year, so I knew, I was familiar with the place, and I really liked it. I felt God's presence in Bashiniva. And so when we kept going and going and going and serving the kids, that's when it wasn't hard. It wasn't hard for me to come down. And
That's awesome.
was that the question?
Yeah, that's the question. Hey, well, we're back at it again. As you can tell, there is no Kim or Luis video, but they are still with us. Can you guys say hi?
Hello.
That's right.
Buenos dias.
Oh, I don't know if these are Mexico problems, technology problems, or just the enemy. Who knows? But this is just life where we're at right now, I guess, huh? Just dealing with technology.
Right.
Man.
Well, we're going to keep on doing it. So people could just watch me and just my reaction. I'm smiling. I mean, I know you guys could see me. So we were talking about just like how ministry started with love and serving and children. And what I find interesting is how God continued to place children in your guys' ministry. I know a lot of those kids that you ministered, Luis, you were saying they grew up and some have even started ministries and are walking with the Lord. But Kim, can you explain a little bit just about how the orphanage developed? Because you guys weren't the last people to continue to visit Bashinava. After you guys had moved down there, more teams kept on coming, and that's where Jason gets involved. So can you just explain a little bit about the orphanage history and how you guys continue to minister to children?
Well, in 1996, Jason was 16 years old, and he came on his first missions trip to Bashiniva. Then he continued coming, got married, and then he was the youth pastor at his church, and he would bring teams once a year, youth teams. And then on top of that, he would come vacation down here and come visit us, and we would just hang out. And one day we were walking, Jason and I, and we passed this building that was right now is a nursing home, real close to the house, but at the time it just wasn't up and running. And so I told Jason, I said, maybe you should start an orphanage. That was in April, and the Lord spoke to his heart, and by August he had moved down for 3 months, and then he went back, and then they came permanently in January, I think, of 2000, I don't remember, 2012 or 2013. And that's how the Lord used our conversation, and he stirred it in his heart to start the orphanage. And that's how it, ever since, teams have been coming like crazy, and they've been building and investing in the kids' lives. It's been a really good thing. Now most of the kids are with their mom or their dad. Most of them, well, all of them have a mom or a dad. And during this quarantine time, they're with their families now. There's only 2 with Jackie and Jason right now living in their house. And so we'll see what the Lord does. We don't know. We have no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah. And Luis, there's always been a great partnership between the orphanage and the church. I know Jason has served as an elder. You have served as a board member at the orphanage. What's the involvement for the church in Bishineva and the orphanage, and how has that been for like the last couple of years? Not just in quarantine time, but I mean, I remember the first time I visited down in Bishineva. Jason and Jackie were actually staying in at the church on site and living there as they were getting things going. How has it been for you as the pastor and just the church involvement between the orphanage and your church there?
It's been good. I mean, we were very busy at the beginning. I mean, building, but it was nice to have somebody from the States here with us in Machinima. We were not the only ones, the only family. So it's been good. And then people from the church were so excited. Like in the beginning, especially in the beginning when we announced that it's going to be an orphanage, that Jason and Jackie were going to move here with Dantu and started an orphanage. It was I guess it was a kind of a big, I can say, revival. People were excited to help.
Mm-hmm.
So it was good. It was good.
That's great. It's always good to see
What else?
the family. It's always good to see the family of God like get excited to serve and to partner in ministry, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, and the kids, they would go to, well, the church that the Bashiniva Calvary Chapel is the orphanage's home church. So the kids are always at the church and, you know, in Sunday school and programs, and it's been really good.
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah.
Now, Kim, can you explain a little bit about what you guys are personally doing? Because I know that you're teaming up with the orphanage. I know you've been helping a lot with administration, but as the kids during COVID-19 are sort of with their families or grandmas or wherever they be, can you explain just how you guys are going to visit them and just taking care of them and ministering to them?
Well, where we've been going, it started out once a week because they live kind of far. Everybody's spread out. But we go and we check up on them, see if they need anything, an extra bed, food. I've been getting homework packets. I'm in contact with all the teachers. I get all their homework together. I take it to them and I beg them to do their homework because we try to explain a little bit because most of their parents aren't educated. So it's going to be hard for them to advance this year. By law here in Mexico, every kid is going to pass. Now some will pass, you know, with a little bit more knowledge, and our kids, it's going to be tough. But if we lived closer, we could probably have had tutoring sessions, but that just didn't work out. But anyways, so that's what I've been doing. We've been praying with them, just seeing how they're doing. Most of them are alone. Some of them are alone because their moms work. But, you know, pray for safety and just pray for their little souls. So that's what we've been doing. Yeah.
And Luis, for you, what is ministry? I know we mentioned in the other video, but what does ministry look like for you guys down in Bishineva now with just the coronavirus, as far as technology and shepherding and just doing ministry down there?
Well, it's been good. I mean, we were kind of didn't like the Facebook stuff like that, and we were kind of a little bit against it. But now that this happened, I mean, it was like we open our eyes and see what. I mean, if the enemy is using this, technology, I mean, we can use it to spread the word. So it's been a little bit challenging because we're not very good with technologies, but it's been great. I'm encouraged because I know that the God is not contained by a building. A building that we worry so much about being in a building, be there on time and everything. But I know that He can use it in every situation. Like we're teaching in the Book of Acts, and we're right now in the end, and how many Paul is in this how do you say barco ship that is he's been shipwrecked, and God is using everything. I mean the storm and everything to reach to the people here. I mean we'll be able to this hard time to pray for the people and 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 any opportunity we have, we just share the God that He's in control. That even this coronavirus is so bad and it's spreading so fast that God is able to help. I mean, He's in control of all things. So it's been good. And I mean, I think a lot of people they will never listen to preaching to a sermon in the internet. Then now they are because I have a couple of friends that they put a little. I mean, thank you things, a good sermon, stuff like that. So it's encouraging to know that the people, the unbelievers, are listening to the word of God. So in a way, it's been good to have this time of storm, I can say, they call it the coronavirus, to reach the community.
Yeah. What the enemy intended for evil, God can use for good. And so it's amazing
Amen.
to see those stories and hear. And I think not only like the witness of people are watching the messages, but I think even the internal work that God is doing in his children and the believers to, like you said, to know that the church is in the building, to step out in new technology and to do things to continue to make disciples and continue to love Jesus. And one last question I want to give you guys an opportunity is: are there just any encouraging words that you have for those listening to this this little vlog or video or interview? Just a lot of people I think are discouraged, they're down and out. Maybe you guys have a different perspective on just life and how Jesus is encouraging you. Is there anything you'd want to say to just encourage people at this moment, this season, if they're listening to this?
I think I will say just continue trusting in the Lord. I mean, as we went through hard times, things that we're not used to it, but God is in control. I mean, it's just I can call it again like a little storm, but God promised to be with us. We're going to pass. So just use your time to be with the family. I mean, like in our case, we were able to spend so much time with the children. I mean, with the grandkids, and just to be what we're supposed to be, a family. And I mean, we're a family in the faith too, but there'll be time. It'll be one day there's going to be everything going to be so clear, and it's going to be a real calm. I don't know how to when Jesus, when the disciples were in the boat with Jesus, and there was a big storm after he tied to the waves and the wind, everything was so calm. So it's going to be like that, and we'll be able to just love each other. And one thing that I wanted to, I mean, also all of us Christians to do is to represent Jesus in a good way. I mean, listen to the authorities and be an example. Be an example. Don't complain too much. I mean, complain to the Lord. I mean, be able to show the people that you're strong in the Lord and you trust the Lord with all your heart, and everything is going to be okay. And hopefully use this time to talk to those members of your family or friends and share the word. That God is in control, and this is just, I mean, worse are going to happen. It's just the beginning, and it's going to be worse. So use this time to get closer to the Lord, to be more intimate with Him, and be able to like Paul, pray for those that are in this storm. Pray for them, and God will answer your prayers. And we love you all.
Awesome. Well, go ahead, Kim.
I was just going to encourage people to read like crazy, and memorize scripture, and always have it on your lips. So when you can, when you're talking to people, it'll just flow out of your mouth, and pray, and because we have the time, and hopefully it'll become a habit, so that the most important thing will be to pray and read, and so when all this is over, we'll be just that much more knowledgeable about the Lord. And just to remember, this isn't our home. This earth isn't our home. It's we're just passing by, and that we need to be heaven-minded, and we, that needs to be our goal. Is that one day we're going to be in the presence of the Lord, and so just encourage you by that.
Well, let me. I know I said one last question, but I think this is important. We love as a church supporting you guys and financially supporting you, praying for you guys, partnering with you, coming visiting on trips. How can people get involved or contact you guys to support, whether it be financially or just get your updates, newsletters? Maybe there's people in our church that want to like get connected with you. What should they email you? Do you have a blog? Like, how do you update people? How do people contact you?
We do a newsletter, so
Mhm.
if I think the easiest way if somebody was interested is you would give them, or you would email me with their email, and then they would get the update.
Okay, great.
I,
So if
that's,
you're listening to this, you can email me at info@redemptiondb.com. I will put it up on the screen right now. And just send me your info, and I will email um, your email to Kim and Luis, and they will update you. That sound like a good plan?
sure, that sounds good.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Well, guys, I appreciate your time. Thanks so much for doing this interview. I'm sorry that we got disconnected or something happened with the video, but it's still so important just to talk and connect during this time. And we're so blessed as a church to be able to do that and just spend time getting to know you guys more. And we really appreciate your faithfulness to the ministry. I know you said it was like, I think 2004, I think, since you've been there, but man, I could just see so much fruit and so much godly character from your guys' life of you just faithfully serving. I know Bashinova doesn't seem like a big town, or it probably sometimes doesn't seem like you're making a large influence, but I know that God's kingdom is growing through you, and I know He's growing in you as well. And so we just appreciate all that you guys do. We're praying for you and love being able to support you guys. And so thanks so much again for taking time in your schedule to talk over this technology. First Zoom call for you guys ever. How was it?
It was good.
It's good.
It was good seeing your face.
Yes. Likewise, when I saw your face, it was good. So let me just pray for you. Let me just pray for you guys again.
Okay.
God, we just continue to pray for blessing, for favor, for the Vargas family, for their church down there, for all the laborers that are helping, Lord, not only Jason and Jackie, but Nieves, Karen, and just all the people that have their hand just at work and laboring down there, Lord. I pray they wouldn't grow weary in doing good. I thank you, God, for giving them the opportunity to spread your word and to build a relationship, to make disciples down there. And so, God, thank you so much for all that you're doing. And we just bless your name, and we just praise you for the gift that Luis and Kim are to our lives, our church family, and just the people that they interact with. Continue to fill them with your spirit, refresh them, encourage them. And we just ask in your name, Lord. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Amen. You're very welcome. Well, guys, thanks so much. I know it's a technology thing. It's a little weird, especially knowing that people will listen to this and stuff. But I had a good time. It was great catching up with you guys.
It was. Tell Laura hi and the kids
And all the church.
and the church.
Right.
And one day you might be able to make it there one of these days or one of these years.
One of these days, either you come here or I come there, huh? I don't know.
Yes.
Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah.
But we'll stay in fellowship and in contact, and
Okay.
just still praying for you. I'll still keep on dropping those lines when I see your Facebook stuff go live.
Okay, we'll pray for you guys too.
Appreciate
Yes,
it.
we
All
will.
right, God bless you guys.
God
Bless you
bless.
too.
Bye.
Adios.
Bye.